Welcome everybody to Amazing You podcasts and YouTube channels, the channels where stories of resilience, triumph and unwavering hope come to life. And I would like to say a huge thank you to the audience for watching, sharing, listening and subscribing the past few years. Thank you for supporting the channels, and if you are new today, very warm welcome and very happy to have you. So in each episode, we dive into the inspiring journey of individuals who have faced the toughest challenges heads-on and emerge victorious. Our aim is to be a beacon of inspiration, offering a guiding light to those navigating through difficult times. And whether you are dealing with health challenges, professional setbacks, or personal struggles, this channel is dedicated to uplifting your spirit and showing you that even in the darkest moments, there is a path to hope and triumph. So join us as we share powerful stories that transcend adversity, reminding you that resilience is a force within us all. So be prepared, everybody, to be inspired and to find the strength to navigate life challenges. I am your host. My name is Dr. Rani Thanacoody. I am a clinical hypnotherapist using rapid transformational therapy method. I am a Mars, Venus, life and relationship coach, breathwork coach, astrologer, tarot reader, past life regression practitioner, and life force compassion practitioner. And today I am very excited to introduce you to my very, very special guest from the UK. Her name is Madeleine Walker. Madeleine is an animal intuitive and a spiritual empowerment coach. Her mission is to raise humankind's awareness of the incredible deep connections we have with the animals and the importance of their messages of healing, re-empowerment for us and our beautiful planet. Madeleine travels extensively to work with wild species in their natural habitat. And Madeleine also writes and lectures internationally about her experiences. She is well known for her healing skills for both animals and humans on both emotional and physical levels. So welcome, very warm welcome to you, Madeleine. Please unmute yourself.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a real pleasure to be here today and to share some of my adventures and really, how I've got to this place in my life, which has been quite a roller coaster. But I feel very blessed to be where I am at this moment. So thank you so much for asking me to share some of my information, and it's lovely to be here with you. Thank you.
So I want to say I'm so honored to have you, Madeleine. With your wealth of experience, wisdom, and knowledge, you are such a big blessing to our podcast, to our channel, because it's the first time I have somebody with your expertise on the channel. So I think the audience will really benefit from your sharing to know more about what you do and about your journey. I think it's wonderful, the things that you do. And in addition, we were talking before joining the podcast that you also sing. You have beautiful songs that you sing and music as well. And you also play the alchemical singing bowls. So anybody later can check on your website all the great things that you do. And you can tell us a bit more later. But my first question to you, Madeleine, can you tell us about your journey? How did you discover your calling as an animal intuitive and a spiritual empowerment coach?
Well, it's not something I really was looking for. I was introduced to an amazing lady called Julie Dicker, who is in spirit now. She's obviously doing lots more work in spirit as an animal communicator, and I hadn't really known about being a thing, but I met her and I had a photograph of my daughter's horse who we rescued from Italy, and Julie was so accurate with all the details that she picked up just from the photograph, and I thought, oh, I'd love to do that. I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that to be so accurate from just a photograph. So that was how that seed was planted. And then it always seems to be that you meet exactly the right person that presents a challenge that you have to find a way to help them, or an animal. And I was very interested. I was kind of catapulted into the field of not only past life regression for humans. I mean, I was very open to that. But I met this puppy who showed me and told me that he was a reincarnation of my friend's old dog, and he'd come back to help her. And that concept was quite new to me. But once this little puppy just opened my eyes to that, I just had so many animals presenting themselves, telling me about their connections with their humans, how they've been together many lifetimes before, not necessarily in animal form. So it was a completely vertical learning curve, and that learning curve is continuing to rise, and I'm just learning all the time from the animals. They are just phenomenal, and it's really important to never underestimate what your animal friend knows about you, and knows what you need for your own healing, for the collective healing. It's just incredible, and they never cease to amaze me. So I've been so lucky to learn from them, and it seems as though once I've learned a certain technique, that it's been kind of incremental. Then they kind of raise the game. They kind of upload or download a higher layer, a higher level of understanding, and it's just amazing. And now I kind of not shocked or surprised by anything, because every day, especially with my sessions I have with people and their animals, there's always something completely mind-blowing that happens, and it's such a privilege to be part of that. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, I feel very, very lucky. And it's always the animals that have driven everything. From a very small child, I was always obsessed with animals, always bringing animals home. My mother was very, very tolerant.
Okay.
I got a job as a veterinary nurse, and of course, an occupational hazard was to bring back animals that had been rescued and not claimed or whatever. So we always had a house full of all kinds of animals, and I was very fortunate in my mother, because I think she was the one that really introduced me to love of animals, and especially horses and dogs and cats. But so it's what I've also learned is that everything I've experienced, with jobs and all kinds of sort of situations, what I would feel is that nothing is wasted, because I can always see where that was going to lead in retrospect. In hindsight, it's very easy. Even the most challenging times, you realise that it's actually just another stepping stone to get you where you need to be. And sometimes it's quite a big nudge, and it can be quite traumatic. But it's always about trying to go with the flow, and then understanding why situations were so challenging and where it's led you in this moment. So again, today I was reflecting on some of the art that I'm doing, which is very therapeutic for me. I used to teach art therapy years ago, and my mother did get quite cross, because I was always drawing horses, and she had very, very nice writing paper in the days when ladies would write letters, and she used to moan because she hadn't got any blank pieces, because I was drawing horses all the time. So it's like all those little experiences, and somehow always come into play if you follow your heart. I think that's the most important thing, is just trust in yourself and follow your heart, follow your dreams. I think is really important.
Thank you, Madeleine. I love that you say that, to follow our heart and to follow our dreams, because so many of us, we don't. We listen to what our family want. We want to fulfill our parents' dream, but we forget ourselves along the way of what is it we love? What is it that gives us joy to wake up every day, and that keeps us excited about life? So thank you for sharing that, and for sharing your journey. And so animal isn't a new, because you were very much in touch with animals when you were young, but also you work in a veterinary medicine as well. So, but now you are moving more towards spiritual intuitive work still with animals. So that's really beautiful how you have cultivated that connection with animals from a young age, but you've also worked with them. And now you are doing more spiritual, more advanced work with the animals, which is incredible. And when you were talking about animals, about you working with animals, it reminded me today of how I learned from my dog. My dog passed away a long time ago, and I learned so much from him. I, I, I learned to understand the weather because I used to watch him whenever he would smell the rain from a distance, and he look at the sky and he would smell, he would sniff, and when he would do that, I know that it's going to rain soon. So now I do that. I don't sniff like him, but I can smell the rain coming just before it starts raining. Which sounds funny, but I've learned from him, from what he taught me. And he was very smart, my dog, I remember. And he would I didn't know much about animals, but I love dogs. But I knew that he understood us because when I was in the kitchen preparing his dinner, he would start barking already. So he knew. He didn't see anything, but he knew I was cooking at that time. So my other question to you, Madeleine, is for anybody who is watching and listening, who may be new about this idea about animal intuition and communication, what exactly does an animal intuitive involve? How do animals speak to you?
Well, I would say that we are all animal intuitors, we are all animal communicators, we are all healers. It's just being open to those concepts, really. I mean, anybody who loves their animals will have this rapport, will have this understanding. And many people say to me, oh, he knows every word I say, or my horse is my soulmate. And I would say to them, well, yes, they are. They're soul family. They really are. And it's just going with that and trusting it. When the first time it happened to me was with this puppy, and it was lying on its back because I wanted to have a cuddle, and it was so cute. And it looked at me very intently in the eyes, and I heard this voice in my head, and I knew it wasn't my voice, and it was saying, I'm a reincarnation of my friend's old dog, and I've come back to help her. And I was so surprised. So it's just being open, especially always coming from the heart, always from the heart. And animals can read our energy centers, our whole auric fields. They can check in on our chakras, everything. They never underestimate what an animal knows about us. But it's just trusting in yourself and believing that you really are. If you get an impression, sometimes it can be an image, or like a bit like a video clip, or it can be a smell or a taste, or even a physical pain. I mean, I used to go and do a lot of yard visits with horses, and sometimes I would get a picture in my head, or I'd see how they'd injured themselves, or I'd feel it in my body. I remember going to see a horse had terrible problems with its teeth, and I had this awful toothache, and I just thought, oh, and I thought, that horse really needs its mouth looked at, because it was becoming quite aggressive. It was becoming its behaviour was really erratic, but it was in a lot of pain. Of course, having a metal bit in its mouth was agony. So once we addressed that, then they got an equine dentist, and the horse was completely calm, back to its normal, really happy, safe self. So it's really trusting your intuition and believing that you can do it. Because it wasn't, as I said, it wasn't something I looked for. It was just suddenly just happened, and it's just grown and grown, and I've all sort of created my own job description, really. Because, but not only with domestic animals, I've really had this passion to go and travel and meet animals in the wild in their natural habitat. And I've been very, very lucky to have the chance to do that. When my mother passed, she left me a little adventure fund, which is long gone now. And I wanted to swim with dolphins. I wanted to swim with whales. I wanted to be in the wild with lions. And I've managed to do all of that several times. And I just feel incredibly, incredibly lucky. And also I'm lucky enough to earn a reasonable amount, which then funds the next research trip, to then write about and lecture about. And then it's ready for the next adventure and the next sort of download of information that I can share. So it's just a beautiful flow of energy and exchange. My first book is called An Exchange of Love, and that's exactly what it is.
Oh, Madeline, thank you. Thank you for sharing that because it's so beautiful when we connect with animals. And I remember when I used to visit a friend on the continent in Europe, and I would talk to her cat and I would tell her what her cat was telling her because I don't, she never talked to her cat. And I was finding that strange. I say, you don't. I say, I used to talk to my dog and I started talking to her cat. And I told her, you need to talk to your cat. Your cat would tell you so many things. And I think it's some people have closer connection and they want to talk, but I have been always like that, talking to my dog. I used to tell him a lot of stories, and I don't know, I was always very close to animals when I had them at my place as a child. So I understand what you say about the messages that you get, which is really wonderful. You can communicate and hear them telling you what they need, which is because animals are very, very intuitive. They know what is going to happen before we find out. Just I was reading something on the Yellowstone Natural Park in the States, and they were showing how all the animals have left the park because they knew that there will be some volcanic activities or something. So their intuition is so, so powerful, so strong. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. And I am very curious to know, because you were talking about the messages that you got from the horse, about his tooth, and another one was about your friend, what the dog said, that he was a reincarnation. Can you share with us a little bit, what are some of the most powerful or surprising message that you've received from the animals?
Oh gosh, there's so many. It's hard to kind of pinpoint that every session I have. One of the things I do is called a heart-to-heart session, and we co-create a sacred space, and we invite animals, past and present, into this space. And it's just so amazing when animals that have passed can present themselves in this sacred space, and all the people that I've worked with it's so real. They can almost, like, if they touch them, they can feel their fur. They can almost smell them, and it's so beautiful to be so reassured that even animals that have passed can come and reassure us and can answer questions that we may have about their passing, or was there something they should have done or could have done. And with their animals they have now, you can have this beautiful dialogue and interaction, where you can ask your animal, what can I do to make things better? Is there a better food? But it's much more than that now. The animals have really told me it's all about re-empowering humans, about giving humans back their sovereignty, really. Because if we are in our full power and our full integrity, then we are really reaching our potentials, and the animals are kind of nudging us. I think many humans have this arrogance that they were the superior species, where actually I think we're just about trying to catch up to the animals, because we have so much to learn from them. But also the nature realms, and elemental realms. But I'm just trying to think of pinpoint. It's so hard. Because there's so many. Every time it's amazing. Just trying to think of the most recent sessions that I've had. Oh gosh. There's so many. I remember going to see a horse, and the horse was telling me about all I kept hearing in my head was, "You'll never walk alone." The song "You'll Never Walk Alone," and I thought, I know that because my brother's an avid Liverpool fan, so I know that's the Liverpool Football Club anthem. And I just said, does this song mean anything to you? Because all I'm hearing from your horse is "You'll Never Walk Alone," this song. And she said that was my father's favourite song. He loved Liverpool Football Club. And I said, well, your horse is actually channeling him, is bringing him into our session. I'm getting goosebumps now. And she really, really felt it. And it was just incredible. The horse, it wasn't me, sort of channeling her father from spirit. The horse was instigating all this. It was absolutely amazing. So there's so many. It's just like, where would I start? But I do remember that and just feeling it was so loud and clear in my head. This lovely song, and sometimes you get things. I'm sure you've experienced this yourself, and you think, "Oh, they're going to think I'm crazy." That's not going to make any sense whatsoever. But if you trust and just share it, because sometimes the animals will say to me, say it. I go, but they're going to think I'm crazy. And again, and I trust it now, but this was before. And so when I exchange or describe what I'm hearing or seeing from their animal, I go, oh yes, I know exactly what that means. And it gives you kind of validation that you're not going crazy, that actually you really are getting some beautiful information that can really help the animal's human companion. And it's such a privilege to be part of that, to assist in that real exchange of loving soul communication, because it is all about heart and soul. And so it's a huge honor to be part of those sessions.
Wow, how beautiful it is to connect with the animal. And not only you connect with the animal, but sound does play a very important role as well in your life and in soul healing and empowerment. So can you tell us what are the specific frequencies or methods you found that are especially transformative?
Again, I swam with a beautiful whale off Tonga, and she was just sleeping, just coasting with her baby, and suddenly she moved and she came towards me, which was a little bit scary because she was a huge female. And I saw her sending out these filaments of different colours, and she was telling me about a very specific frequency, which was 2.9 megahertz. And I thought, oh, that's quite a high frequency. But she showed me how, by visualising a certain image, we could somehow transmit. I can sing that. It's something that can come right from inside me. And when I sing with my alchemy bowls, I play them, but I sing into them. So it's a mixture of the healing frequencies from the bowls as well as my voice kind of integrating and kind of synthesizing with the bowls. And it just seems to have this very, very relaxing, very soothing effect. And specific instruments have huge healing qualities as well. I have a crystal harp, which is amazing. And I love to play that over people that are lying down in a group and sing with that as well. And it's really beautiful. But of course, when you've also been in the water with dolphins and whales, you hear their clicks or their songs coming through you, and that's incredibly transformative. So I've been out off Dominica with a hydrophone recording the sperm whales, who don't sing as such. They emit this long click stream, and I've integrated that in some of my music. And it's so when you're listening to maybe one of the meditation tracks and you're hearing the little clicking, that's actually a sperm whale that's sharing their healing frequencies. So again, it's been so wonderful to be so beautifully supported by them as they've kind of guided every step of my way. So yeah, I always say, from a humpback to a housefly, they've always got a message. They've always got a way of sharing something to heal us humans. I had some very profound messages from houseflies, and even with a cockroach once in Mexico. had a lovely interaction with a cockroach. It was a bit scary because it suddenly jumped out of a box of crackers that I had, and it was a bit of a shock. But we came to an agreement of how we would share space, and so that was okay. But yeah, I think, and also with lions, the frequency of a lion's roar, when you're that close to a lion and it roars, it's as though every cell of your body vibrates, and you can't help but feel realigned or recalibrated when you're in close proximity with a lion when it's right in front of you roaring. That's pretty terrifying and awe-inspiring at the same time.
Wow, how magical it is to travel the world and to be with the animals. Yeah, because everything is sound, everything is vibration. You know, the plants play their own music, but we don't hear them. I went once to a conference and the gentleman connected some wires and he made it listen to the plant that was singing. The sound frequency was beautiful, I tell you. So I am not surprised when you say that the animals emit a certain frequency, and it's all, the universe is about vibration and frequencies. Yeah, yeah. And it's amazing to do that with the animals and the dolphins. And I remember, Madeleine, when I was doing my master's a long time ago in Australia, I used to have a CD of the dolphins. You know, the sound of the dolphins and the sound they were making, and that inspired me to write my essays. That was so soothing to me. So sound has always had a special place in my heart. I used to play music as well. So I was listening to something yesterday which is very, very interesting. Is the Giza pyramid is the way, I think the geometry of it is related to some kind of musical note frequency. One is the throat, it depends on, it's a different note. Each of those each of those chambers of the pyramids has a frequency, has a musical note frequency. And it was so mind blowing that everything is about frequency. Everything is related to frequency vibration. Yeah. And you talk about being with the animals, wild animals, with the lions, and what draws you to these animals, and how does their energy from lions, elephant differ from that of domesticated animals?
That's a very good question. I've always been drawn to lions. When I was a little girl, I used to dream about lions regularly, and they were quite scary dreams. And then I got sent an email, I think back in 2007, with an image of a beautiful white lion. And I just looked at this lion and thought, oh, I just really would love to meet you. So it took me 2 years, and eventually I did get to meet that particular lion. But I've worked with elephants as well, and they are just so awesome. I mean, they are immense creatures, absolutely huge. But the message seems to be the same, even from, I had a German, I think, or maybe Austrian client, and she had a little miniature hamster called Khaleesi, after the character of Game of Thrones, who was Mother of Dragons. And this little miniature, tiny little diminutive creature she had passed, but she came through with such powerful energy to help her human, and it was very much dragon energy that she was bringing through, and she was saying, be more dragon, step into your dragon heart, shine your light. And that's been really life-changing for her human. So even a tiny little hamster has immense power. So so there's not, okay, you have a physical huge body of an elephant. They are immense creatures. The sperm whales are the biggest toothed creature on the planet. I swim with whale sharks. They're the biggest fish on the planet, and they are huge, but they are gentle giants, and it's all about respect, really. So I think it's just a different frequency, a different energy, but neither one is more powerful than the other. Of course, there are specific ambassadors of certain species. I've been connecting with octopi recently, and I feel this massive learning just on the horizon from octopus, because they are so amazingly intelligent. They have 3 hearts. They have lots of information about how they can adapt their RNA and their DNA. They're fascinating creatures. And I've been working with, obviously, an etheric octopus who's come through to teach me the ways of how they might, or guide me to help people working with the octopus sort of wisdom. So that's pretty out there. And again, that's been only in the last, I don't know, maybe last, not even a month, I don't think. So I'm always receiving these upgrades and these nudges to, to research further, to dig deeper into what it might be that they wish to share in order to assist the whole new earth and sort of new humans that we are evolving into. So it's really, really magical. So as I said, I'm not really shocked or surprised by anything now. I just, okay, it's an octopus, it's telling me this. Okay, so what more can I learn? What else do you want me to know? What else can I be? How else can I be of service to you? So it's, really, really fascinating. And they're talking about sound. I met an amazing white lion in 2022, and he was talking to me very much about sound scrolls, about very specific sounds that are now being released that we can claim have our own kind of sovereign sounds, and we really have to embrace that. Also about new chambers in our hearts being opened. I had a lovely dolphin that gave me this new meditation where we could go into the inner earth oceans and go inside a beautiful shell and meet the guardian of the shell, and they would find a way of opening another chamber in our heart. So we had more room in our heart to absorb more beautiful healing sound. So that was, again, another wonderful, wonderful gift for me, and I love to share that because it feels so important to offer this to other people so that they can receive it. They can receive this expansion and kind of amplification of who they really, really are. It's just, I say, it's just a magical mystery tour, really. It's fantastic. I'm just so happy to have the chance to do this, and also to have the opportunity to share this with lovely people like yourselves and our listeners.
Thank you for the great work that you do, and I love that you say how we can be of service. Absolutely. I was listening to something today, and the teacher was saying that that's how we should be. Because the more we serve, the more joy we give, the more the planet heals as well. We are not here to we are not about taking, but we are about serving each other. And that's about collaboration, that's about unity, that bring unity consciousness when we serve each other. So serving is I think it's very, very important to ask ourselves each day how we can serve today, whether it's animal, whether it's the plants, the wildlife, how we can serve each other. Yes, thank you, Madeleine. It's lovely. I love what you share, and it's so powerful. And for the audience today who are listening and watching, who may not have been naturally intuitive, we all have that gifts, but not everybody has developed it, have discovered it yet. And how can they begin to deepen their connection with animals and receive guidance from them?
I would always say get out in nature. Get out in nature. Go and commune with a tree, because they are master motivators and activators. Because the more in tune, you were saying about the plants, the more in tune you are with nature, the more open you are. And it's heart opening, it's soul opening, it's mind opening, and it's just giving yourself permission to do this, and also to trust, because sometimes you think, oh, I'm just making that up, or that's just silly, that's just nonsense. But it's really about trusting and believing in yourself. And I think if you tune into your heart, go into nature, go and put your third eye against a magnificent tree and just allow them to activate those intuitive muscles, because they're all there, but in some of us, they can be a little bit dormant and a little bit sleepy. But when you give yourself the chance to try this, and again, to be open to the possibility that you are the most amazing animal communicator or intuitive, the more it's not exactly fake it till you feel it. It's about just give it a go, give it a try, and trust of what you get. It's not about being 100% accurate. It's about opening your heart and giving yourself that chance to be not more, because you're already amazing, but to maybe allow the animal kingdom or the elemental realms or the nature realms to just help you expand. And again, it's about standing in your power. The lions always talk about being lion-hearted, to step up and step out and be the light that you are. You're already an amazing light, but it's give yourself a chance to do that. And so you'll probably find, if you don't have your own animals, there'll be maybe a little robin in the garden that suddenly is looking at you. And sometimes people believe that robins are a sign of a loved one or a spirit person trying to come through to you. So just be open, And like I said, you can talk to a housefly, and so a lot of this has really come sort of as a surprise initially, because I was not really prepared for the journey that's been, at times very, very challenging. But I understand that those challenges have really led me to where I am now. And sometimes, just go out into the forest and have a good scream, have a good shout. If you're really feeling angry and frustrated and feel that nothing's going your way, just go into the woods and just be there. Just stand on the grass with bare feet, or go and stand in the stream. Let the water kind of wash away any of those negative emotions or grief or sadness or anything. It's about just allowing yourself, just being gentle with yourself, being kind to yourself, and the animals will find a way of taking you forward. They will lead you where you need to be. Just have to follow them.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, I think that's great to encourage the audience to connect with nature, because that is so healing to be with nature and to start developing that connection, that intuition. Make it a daily practice, because this has been very powerful. I've been doing this for a long time, and it has made me feel more grounded, has helped me to discover so many things slowly about myself, and it's wonderful. Yes, thank you. Oh my God, Madeleine, there's so much to ask you, but the time is so short, so I will have to ask you the last question here. Two last question. And what do you believe is the most urgent message animals want us to hear right now?
It's really about respecting the earth. It's because the earth belongs to all of us, and it's up to us to honour it. So I think, the most important message is respect and honouring our earth, because we have to look after our earth so she can look after us. And about, again, stepping into your power, allowing yourself reclaim that sense of yourself, your inner light, because we're all here to share our light, to be in service, because each one of us has this very, very unique and special spark of light that we have chosen to be here at this time to bring our light. And it's about just believing that, and just give yourself permission. But definitely respect the earth and everybody and everything that inhabits the earth, be it a little plant, an elephant, a wonderful mountain, a fabulous tree, and obviously all humans.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And my last question to you: where can the listeners and the viewers learn more about your work? Where can they book a session with you? or attend one of your healing events?
You can find me on Facebook, and you can my website, which is madelinewalker.co.uk. I have much of my music and a lot of my meditation CDs where the meditations have been given to me by various amazing animal ambassadors. So that's on Bandcamp. I've just started doing some beautiful intuitive art, which is, again, very therapeutic for me. And I feel there's a resonance within the images that affects the cellular structures in the body. So any events that I'm doing, sound events, or they can book a session with me, contact me via Facebook or by email, and I'd love to be of service to anybody who is interested in maybe learning more from their animals.
Thank you. And your website will appear below as well, so anybody can reach out. Can they reach out to you using your website, Madeleine?
But it's probably best to use my email, which is just madelinewalker@hotmail.com. That's probably the quickest way to get hold of me. Or message me on Facebook.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing your email. And also, I will put your Facebook account later in the bio so people can reach out to you. So, Madeleine, it's been wonderful talking to you and learning about the great work that you are doing. And thank you so much for taking the time today to talk to the audience. I wish you a lot of success, a lot more travel around the world with the animals, and a lot more adventures to come for you. And I would like to say, do you have any final words you want to share with the audience?
Oh gosh, again, we're running out of time. Just be kind to yourselves, be open. And if you have animals, just love them to bits every single day, because every single second with them is very precious. And life is precious. The earth is precious.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I wish you a lot of success, Madeleine. And everybody who is listening and watching, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, sharing, listening, and subscribing. And remember that you are amazing. You have always been amazing, and you always will be amazing. Thank you, everybody, and take care, everyone. Bye-bye.